Hello, everybody. Hello. How y'all guys doing? What is up? Hello, Ross. Hello, Joshua. How are y'all guys doing? Thank you for showing up. Um, Today I was talking to somebody earlier about the debate of Trump and um what I forgot his name, Biden. And I never seen debate. I didn't see debate. So I'm gonna be here seeing the debate with everybody else. So this is my first time seeing it. I don't know if it's your first time seeing it, but I want to see the debate. So far, what I've been seeing that they don't know what this man talking about. So as I'm doing that, I might put on some makeup in the process, and I'm gonna be sipping a little wine. So how y'all guys doing? Can y'all hear me good? I hope y'all can hear me. Hold on, let me see if y'all can hear me. My computer went out. My son just told me I gotta keep. I can't let it sit there. My computer went out. My son just told me I gotta keep. I can't let it sit there. All right. So, and if I get some new subscribers, hit that live. What's up, Savage? I'm surprised of you, Savage. I don't know. Like, I'm surprised. What's up, Savage? But thank you for saying that the intro music hard. That's just inside the stream, y'all. I think it's whack, but it's whatever. All right, so we are gonna watch the debate with me. Sit along, watch the debate with me. It looked like it's an hour and 38 minutes. Interesting. I don't know if I could play the whole thing straight through, but I will be breaking through it, telling y'all my opinion of what they're saying or talking about. And I'm gonna be sipping me. Well, it's a lot of people surprised. I don't know about a lot of people surprised. I don't know. You know, I'm not into the YouTube street and the YouTube drama. I just know it's surprising to me. I don't know about anybody else. So that's surprising to me. So that's just it. I don't know about anybody else. I'm not gonna add nobody else in this conversation. It is what it is. I spoke to. I'm gonna. Well, I have said a little something to Rice. Rice don't even know what that energy was about either. Like, right? So it's like whatever. Like, and I don't want to put him in no drama. It is what it is. If we want to talk about it, we could talk about it if you want to. We could talk about it before I go into my debate. Is that not messing up my live? You want to talk about it? Or no, you ain't got to talk about it. So I'm gonna be doing a debate on a review on this debate, talking about it, expressing my opinions, and I'm gonna try to do a little bit of makeup in the same process of looking at this debate. A lot of people not gonna come in because I did not do no notification. This was something sporadic I decided to do because I really wanted to see this debate. Can y'all pass me my laptop? Can y'all pass me my tablet? Can y'all pass me Jarrell? Pass me my tablet charger so I can charge my tablet. But let me wait a little bit, let y'all all get in the room. That if anybody else get in the room, I'm gonna wait for a little bit. I want to get my tablet. I gotta get my tablet because I can't see. No, nobody. No. Hold on. I feel like I stay yelling. Nobody had an opinion. No one had their opinion. Everyone was just like, wow, why is that going on? What was that really about? for that conversation to be towards me, we all was like, what was that about? I was even like, what was that about? I didn't understand what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, you have my number. You could have called me on some other energy, like, yo, I'm about to put you on about something. The day that you said this all was going on, you could have called me and said, yo, just sit in the back, watch what's going on. They talking about you, whatever, whatever. You know, I never had no issues with nobody. Nobody on that panel I got issues with. Nobody on that panel knows nothing about me. They don't even have information on me but what they see on the videos. That's all they get to know. So it's like, what more? No, I didn't say you spoke on me. I'm talking about when you came to my live and we was talking about it. You was telling me about what somebody else said. And I was like, you was saying that this is what they was doing on their channel. And I was like, wow, I don't got no. No, I didn't say you spoke on me. I'm not saying you spoke anything on me. What I'm saying is you came and said that they was on somebody else's channel talking about me, saying I'm riding the bus and all this stuff, right? And you said that you was defending me and saying whatever you were saying, that's a nice girl or whatever you were saying. I'm saying that day that happened, you was supposed to either call me or put me on and say, look, they talking about you, just sit in the background, don't say nothing. If it was that serious. All right. If it was that serious, you get what I'm saying? I'm just putting the quotes up. I don't know if it was serious or not. So my thing was, for that to be brought up on my live, I don't think it was that important because it should have been brought to my attention before the live. You have my number. My number never changed. My number changed now. I changed my number now. But my number was the same. You could have called me, whatever. Oh, okay, you talking about that. You know that live stream is still up. So where people to deny it, then you can go look for yourself. I don't want to look for it. I don't have your number anymore. I have a new phone. And on that particular day, it was that serious. They were dragging you. Like, I don't know. They could. The thing is that they could drag me all they want. I don't know why they want to drag me. They don't know me. I never had a conversation with them like that. So I don't know why would they drag me. They only know my video. That's all they know. They could drag me all they want. Like, you live all the way where you live at, and that's just it. I don't know nothing about you. You don't know nothing about me. So they could drag me for on what? On the videos that you see. You don't know my personal life. Well, I can't say you don't know my personal life. I put on my live, but you don't know nothing about me. I don't know how they drag me, like how they can drag me. They can never drag me. They never had a full-blown conversation with me to drag me. That's the crazy shit about it. I never called them. I never tried to hook up with them. I never try to do anything with them. So what they could do is make up shit and drag me. Nobody on that panel can drag me. I want people to show me their paycheck. I mean, their bank account. Show me their bank account, then we could talk, because nobody could. I could post my bank account. I could give you a screenshot of my bank account right now. That's all we should be talking about is money. My thing is they can't drag me because they don't know me. They never had a conversation with me. I never spoke to. The only person I could really say could drag me is Rice. But I doubt Rice would do that because Rice don't. He never gave me that kind of energy that he would do that. And on that particular, I don't know why they was trying to drag you. Either that's why I was enlightening you, but it's okay. No, it's not even about that. It was about the way you got mad and the way you came about it. It was like, why did you get mad so fast? But I understand why you got mad. I know why you got mad, but I don't understand it. You jumped from one thing to another, and it was just like, I don't know if that. It felt like a setup. It felt like you set me up for some shit, and I know it was about, because you could have said, "Yo, Oz, what's your number again? Because I got a new phone. I want to call you and hold you, talk to you." I'm not gonna search up an energy that I don't even. They don't know me. They don't know. It's all good. Let it go. I'm just saying they don't know me. They don't know me. They don't know my real name. They don't know nothing about me. All they can do is make up shit and drag me. I ain't fucked them. I never sent a dirty pic to them. I ain't sucked nobody dick. I ain't send no sexy nothing to nobody. So they can't drag me. They can't search up my information. They can't search. If they search up my bank account, they gonna be mad. So, but if they can search up that information, go ahead, because you're gonna make yourself mad. But they can't drag me. Nobody can drag me. Nobody. That's why I can't even talk bad about them, because I don't know shit about them. I don't know about shit about nobody on that panel. Nobody on that panel. I don't know nothing about nobody on that panel. So if I don't know nothing about them on that panel, they don't know shit about me. But like you said, let it go. I wasn't telling you what's going on anymore. I would just snap and tag you. Right. That would have been mad cool, right? That would have been way better. That would have been so better. Yeah, I won't even do that. I'm gonna go and leave it. No, I mean, if you tag me, no problem. I wouldn't even listen. I'm not even gonna be mad at the messenger. I'm not even gonna be mad at the whole situation. You're not even gonna get me up on a panel to debate with people that don't know me. Let me know if you got retirement. Let me know if you got life insurance. Let me know if you got anything. I bet you none of them got none of that. None of them got none of that. They ain't got no house insurance. They ain't got no life insurance. They ain't got none of that. I don't argue with people that's not even on my level. Like they not on my level. Like none of them is on my level. Just I'm gonna put it as that. I don't know shit about them. They don't know shit about me. Ain't none of them on my level. I know that for sure. They not on my level. No, tag me. Next time somebody talk about me, tag me. I promise you to my kids, I will not be on a panel talking about what. I won't do that. Cause I'ma laugh. How you like? I'ma laugh. I'll probably get on the panel and laugh and be like, so you found that information on how? You spoke that about me, like how? So that's how you feel about me? You don't even know me? None of them is on my level. I know that for sure they're not on my level. Niggas, I done spent G's on my mouth alone. None of them niggas is on my level. I know they not on my level. Trust me, they not on my level. I spend G's on my teeth, bro. Fuck that. Fuck that. My mouth alone costs more than. Come on now. Fuck, I ain't even arguing with that. Facts. So, all right. Let me put this on. Anyway, so I'm gonna do this debate. I want to talk about this debate because I never seen it. I heard it was a mockery from TikTok, and we're gonna get into it. And I'm gonna try to put on makeup. So I'm trying to once it charges. Darrell, I don't think the on. So let me do this debate right now. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Sorry for that little runoff. Anybody want to come up? They can't talk. Wait, I'm tripping. I forgot. We're talking about the debate right now. So if you have any information on the debate, don't just come up here and talk about the debate. And then later on, after I'm done, we could talk about no. The power is not going through the court. Oh, yes. Because the thing was open. Oh. So other than that, if y'all want to talk about something else, that will be way later on. Right now, I want to talk about the debate. If you have anything to talk about the debate, let's get it in. I know nobody's gonna really be here because nobody knows about my channel. I mean, nobody really know I'm on. I don't care. I'm watching the debate. If y'all want to watch with me, power on. All right, let me log into this. Niggas work at jobs that don't offer them K1. The fuck? Y'all don't even got a job that offer you life insurance. That's crazy. Medical. Can't even retire from the job you at. Half of them niggas probably don't even go to the dentist or the doctor. That's crazy. Show me doctor visits. I want to see doctor visits. That's what I want to see. Debate with me on that. Go to the doctor. All right. I'm going to try to put on makeup as I am listening to this debate. Ooh. That's better. Niggas probably got roaches in their crib and everything. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
We're live from Georgia, a key battleground state in the race for the White House. In just moments, the current U.S. president will debate the former U.S. president as their party's presumptive nominees, a first in American history. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world to our studios in Atlanta. This is the CNN presidential debate.
This debate is being produced by CNN and is coming to you live on CNN, CNN International, CNN.com, CNN Max, and CNN Espanol. This is a pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office. Each will make his case to the American people with just over 4 months until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and co-anchor of State of the Union.
I'm Jake Tapper, anchor of CNN's The Lead and co-anchor of State of the Union. Dana and I will co-moderate this evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determined their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
How are you?
I'm watching news just like y'all guys.
Great to be here. Thank you.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
First of all, Biden already look like he tired. Biden is just like, oh gosh, am I really ready for this? Am I really ready? Am I really ready for this? Biden already look like he's tired.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the
Look
debate.
at
And let's
the
start with
double
the issue
for
that
Biden.
voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled.
He already blamed Trump.
All he said was it's not that serious.
He said, look what Trump left me. He already blamed him like, nah, y'all not going to blame me what was already done. I just got in a seat. So Look, he already playing the blaming game.
A little bleach in your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out
Face
a
moisturizer,
position where
but it's
we
like
have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs.
So
But there's more to be done.
So it
There's
helps
more to be done.
big
Working
young
class people are
stuff
still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of
use
household
this on
where
all
the
my
kitchen
makeup.
table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination that I was left with in corporate greed is the reason why
What you said, Roz? You said Oz also got to remember America has a strong international influence. Oz then Trump was in office. The UK had a stable economy. Right. Wait, I gotta go back to what was the question again. I heard the first question.
Under your presidency than they were under President Trump.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach in your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed.
Bleach in the
There were no
arm.
jobs.
That's
Unemployment
serious.
rate rose to 15%.
That's
It was terrible.
What's it?
And so what we had to do is try to
Holocaust
put
rule.
things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought on a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. But there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs,
Oh,
the
he's
price of
trying to
gas,
let.
the
He's
price
trying
of
to.
housing, the price
He's
of the whole
trying to relate now. He's trying to relate. Like, look, I understand the struggle. Look where I came from. Let me try to do my live over here because I don't see. Right, Roz.
Just things. That's why I make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units.
Wait a minute.
And make sure we cap
He
rents.
just lied right there. He just said we're gonna make sure we reduce housing. Rent everybody, even including the middle class and the low income class. Rent just went up. So how did he say we gonna lower it when y'all just went up on the rent? People are now saying I can give you full evidence and show you that they went up on the rent. Let's do this. Let's look that up. It says, but your landlord must give you an advance written notice before they raise your rent by 5% or more. The amount of landlord can raise your rent. Okay, when? What is the most? Why is rent so high? What is the rent increase for 2024? For 2 years lease beginning on or after December 1, 2023 or on before September 2024, the first year of the increase was 2.75%. And for the second year is 3.20%. So this happened in 2024. He just said that we're going to lower the rent. No, what happened? All right.
So corporate greed can't take over. The combination that I was left with in corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time
I like
he
my
left,
face to
things
feel
were in
tacky
chaos.
when I put my makeup.
Literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. In a situation is
So the color that I'm using is
all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you, President Trump.
taffy is my original
We are the
color.
greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, the bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up.
Wait a minute, I think that's a storyteller. Didn't we just bury? They bombed the army. What's the name where they randomly just bombed and they died? Didn't they just bomb the food truck? Didn't they just do that? Biden, I don't know what you're doing here, but you're not holding up your stories. Because to me, you're not looking up facts. Because they just bombed the freaking food truck. And those was Americans trying to feed. I don't know if they was feeding hungry or they was feeding the army people.
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan, with power in the history of our country's life.
The last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had large
Let me go back.
trillion-dollar deficits and record debt. Why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore.
Yeah,
we're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity.
Well, I agree with that. Because what I agree with, I agree that before the gates was open, crime was down. It wasn't all the way down, but it was down. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody had the stimulus checks, everybody had money. There wasn't that much crime like it is now. Like, to me, ever since the gates was open, crime just went crazy. Now people getting robbed. I mean, there was crime, but not so much that I see now. Like I don't know. To me, I think it went down.
This question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, he got $2 trillion tax cut, benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers.
Right. I really think the crime went down.
$1 billion, I should say.
It was down.
In a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, health care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our health care. sure
use
that we're able to make every single solitary person
crap.
eligible for what I've been
If
able
y'all
to
know
do
what
with
just happened to
the
me right now,
with the COVID.
this is the
with,
makeup that
dealing with everything
Captain
we have
and
to do
Friends
with.
gave me.
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame what's happened to our country.
The crazy thing
in the last,
it's already wiped out. They say in a couple of years that people that put money all in their retirement, like it's like, all right, the people that understand that really work, no offense to anybody else, the people that actually really work, you have to pay money to retire from out of your check, right? And that money you done put into your retirement, which I pay for. That's why no one can argue with me about nothing. I pay for. They're saying in a couple of years, that ain't by the time I retire, that money might go to they might took that money and I can't retire. So hey Deshaun on the track, what's up, brother?
4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election
I'm sorry, I freaking went out of the daggone studio. Oh, look at my face. I gotta fix that. All right, wait. I'm sorry, I left out of the daggone studio. I don't know how to put on makeup outside my mirror. So if you're looking crazy, you gotta give me a minute.
Question that you're asking, a complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade. and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, and
Hey,
getting into
Angie,
other
baby, how
things. But
are
every
you? I'm
legal
doing
scholar
makeup in a debate.
throughout the world, the most
And
respected,
why?
wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth.
Why?
After birth,
I'm
if you
glad
look at
he
the
said
former
that.
governor of Virginia,
I'm glad
he was
he
willing
said
to
that.
do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought...
I'm glad he said that because you got them and you got these children having unwanted babies or unwanted pregnancies. And when a baby conceived, these young adults having children and they wind up doing something to that baby, want it. That's why you have a lot of these young kids. You finding them in a garbage can. You finding them outside. You finding them. So I think he just said right there, you wait until the last minute to do things. Well, you waiting until they had a baby and then something happened and then you say, oh, I still don't believe in that. No, I agree with that. Hey, Angie, baby, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Don't forget the thumbs up, guys. It's the great debate with my makeup and some wine.
Put it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it. It's just ridiculous.
Angie.
And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states, let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same...
Wait. Is it me? Am I tripping? Hey, time. How are you? Blessings, life, focus, motivation every day. And remember, your health is your truth. Thank you. How are you doing? Time. How are you? Is it me or this man is not keeping up with the conversation? I don't know if it's me. I'm not gonna put on this much makeup. I can't see. What I'm seeing is way different. So I don't know what I'm putting on. I can't see. I don't know what I'm seeing. Makeup. All right. I don't want to finish fast, so I'm gonna continue.
same people he allows to come
Is it
across
me?
our
Oh,
border.
I don't know what he's
We have a
saying.
border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. Consider the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting.
My face is
In many cases,
I try to do
it's
makeup.
frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the
called
opposite.
the mirror.
But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote
How
of the
are
people, which
you?
is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. but they would have, everybody wanted it brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it
I
that
can't
way.
see. Don't mind me.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. First time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month
look
and even
at
after
this.
birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen. Democrat or Republican, nobody wants it to happen.
That is so right.
That is simply not
Hey.
true. The Roe v. Wade does not.
Hey, 1983, how are you? How are you, brother? Damn, both Biden and Trump look like they 2 orange turtles. No shit. I'm done with you. He said they look like 2 turtles. They trying to tan up, trying to look young. All right, I'm doing my makeup over. I don't like how it came out. It was looking dark and weird. I don't know if that's the camera, but now I gotta put that stuff back on my face again. I'm gonna leave my eyebrows. I'm done with you, 1983.
Not provide for that. That's not the circumstance.
All
When
right.
a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to
Right,
the issue of immigration and border
right.
security. President
You said
Biden, a
1983.
record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust
I
you
don't never put
to
on
solve
that
this
much
crisis?
makeup. I don't know what.
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law.
Well, what I will say is the separation of mother and child. I don't agree with that either. But if you're crossing state lines, not able to feed your child and give them the proper home like they would do to us, you will separate them and put them in a place where they can be taken good care of. Because being in that state that you are in now, you cannot take care of a kid. A kid cannot be in there because there was crimes happening to children being And the immigrant thing, the thing where the immigrants was going, and I'm not sure what it's called.
What's happened? I've changed it in a
Hey,
way that
how
now
are you?
you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border legally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look,
He
we
said,
had the
"I'll go
safest
wait."
border in the history of our country. The border,
Oh,
all he had to do
poor
was leave
Biden.
it.
I
All he had to do was
love
leave it.
him.
He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are
You can
from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history.
He's
In
telling
that
the truth.
final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al Qaeda person come in his administration, killed
right.
three American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people. That's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
You don't need no data.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed three people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the two greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these three incredible young girls over the last few days.
Hold
One
on.
of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, or we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places.
Listen, and
Our
I'm not
veterans are
gonna
in the
lie.
street. They're dying
Come
because
on,
he doesn't
guys.
care about our veterans.
Let's look at the fact that he's talking about there's no data. Biden is talking about no data. Trump is talking about facts. Facts that we see on TV, facts that we hear on the news, facts in our economy. This man said there's no data that the crime, there's no murder going on, that people did not come into this country and unalive people. He's speaking facts. Trump speaking facts. He's speaking data. That's that unseen computerized information.
Mom, what is lights off? He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half. because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in. And
President
it's a very
Biden.
sad day in America.
President
I thought
Biden,
they
you have the
cut
mic.
their
Every
mic
single
off.
thing he
Wait a
said
minute.
is a lie. Every single one.
Wait a minute. I thought they cut their mic off. I thought they did the new thing where the red light comes on and the mic get cut off. Now, Trump, you got to chill, listen to the 2-minute situation so you can stay calm and get your information out there and we can hear your information. I thought they started this new thing where the mic automatically get cut off. The red light comes on, then it get cut off. So I guess they want to hear what he got to say because the light didn't come on and the mic didn't go off.
For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act.
Really?
1 million of them now have insurance and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living one
Your son is not a good
came back
example.
with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump.
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have.
Go ahead, Ross.
To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history.
Now they getting personal.
And they now are their
conversation.
The only sacred obligation we
Wait, now they getting personal in a conversation. They're getting mad and getting in their feelings. When they start getting in their feelings, they don't listen to each other. And they tend to argue about shit that don't matter. What is that? Stop doing that. Sit down. Sorrel, bring me my other makeup underneath my bed.
Have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right. Thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. So former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons
and I'm not
its bid
no
to join
eyelashes.
NATO.
I can't
Are
believe
Putin's terms acceptable to you?
closed, so
First of all,
eyeliner.
our veterans
look like
and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. That when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine, never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything, no money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. But the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it when he was president. Here they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place. Number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish, Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I never said that.
For 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable?
You said, why is Trump? Hey, Lammy, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Let's go, Brandon. Brandon in the room. What's up, Brandon? Don't forget to like sub, guys. Why is Trump still running? He needs to go to jail. What he did. You think so? Gregory?
You keeping the territory in Ukraine.
No, they're not acceptable. But look, war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he let everybody else. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war.
I'm sorry, guys. I knocked my internet. I knocked my internet out. Thank God it was still streaming. I hate this so much. All right. So okay, share. Full out. All right. We can start from there.
Are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the
No, they're
territory
not
in Ukraine.
acceptable. No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we have $200 billion now or more to Ukraine, he's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion, a salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held,
it's only copyright if I put it straight through. I gotta pause it sometimes and talk through it, because if I talk through it, it won't be like straight copyright. I had did it to the Kanye West video. So hopefully they won't. They strike me already though. Well, I kind of like how this look right here. Okay. All right. Let me go back to the debate.
Held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward, which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened in Israel? We're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way,
love
they've
comedy.
been
You love
greatly
comedy,
weakened,
Don. How are
greatly
you?
weakened, and they should be.
Thank you for
They should
coming
be
in. Don't
eliminated.
forget to hit the
But
like
you've got to
button.
be careful for what using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together
I
have
like
spent
comedy too.
100 billion or maybe
Who's
more
your
than
favorite
that,
comedy
less than us.
comedian?
Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any, they were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all, you got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion
Thank you,
more spent,
sweetheart.
and it has a bigger impact
How
on
are
them
you?
because of location, because
fine?
we have an ocean
Thank
in
you for
between.
coming to my
You got to ask them
live.
as far as Israel and
So where you at?
Hamas.
What part of New York
Israel's the
City
one
are
that
you
wants to
at?
go. He said the only
I did it again. What part of New York City are you from? Are you in New York City or where you from? Thank you for my 10th like. Let me do the president. I keep going in and out. I'm sorry, I'm doing too much at my computer table.
wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad
Oh,
Palestinian.
you from
He's a
UK?
weak guy.
I got somebody else from UK.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean. If we're able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war,
See how
what happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. If you want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to contain just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations.
I got more makeup.
Because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this. I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question. Would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time? And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th.
I don't know.
On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor in writing turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the
Let me
dining room
pause
with
that
the
for a
office.
minute.
He sat there for 3 hours.
I kind of agree with encouraging them because knowing that they was already heated at your debate, Trump, I will say that. At your debate, you had them at your debate. Knowing that they was already feuded of what was going on, and they had plans on doing this, circulating through the internet, making posters about it. Not once did you step out to say, I really don't want y'all guys doing it. Like, aggressively say that. Like, be sincere and say, no, this is not how I run my campaign. I need y'all guys not to do this. I want to run an honest campaign. I did not. You said it after the mix of the situation because America was already on point with the fact that they was going to do that before it even happened. So they was on point already. So once you heard that they was going to do that, you were supposed to stop it. You were supposed to, I really believe that he had much control over that. I'm not saying the actions, but I think he could have stopped that sooner before it happened. Back to the debate.
3 hours watching, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll not forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. To do a damn thing. And these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent when they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities. You go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of the they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that, they saw them coming, and they left
Yeah, he
immediately.
was saying that day
What
when
he
he wanted
said
to bring
about
in people.
this whole
They were
subject
telling him
is
no.
so
He
off.
said that from day
Peacefully
one.
patriotic. One other thing, the Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted.
Is it turning
The
out
idea
better? I
that
hope
they
so.
didn't kill somebody, just
I
went
need
in
a
and broke
miracle.
down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turned them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots.
Why did
Come
it
on.
look dark?
When I asked him the first two
And he
debates we had, first time around,
Yes.
I said, "Will you denounce the Proud Boys?" He said, "No, I'll tell them to stand by." The idea he's refusing, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? Will you denounce the people who attacked that Capitol? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about?
Is he really bringing that up? Is he really trying to answer the question?
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign
You want me
has
to
ever
think
taken.
of-
Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because
No,
the
don't
public
really
knows it's a
actually look at
scam,
this.
and it's a guy
This
that's
is
after
a
his
hot
political
mess.
opponent
I'm
because he
just trying
can't
to
win
tell
fair
you.
and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald
I'm
Trump
just trying to see if I can put on makeup at the same time and drink my wine. So I'm drinking and makeup and listening to the debate.
his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the
Like
tens of
these
millions
guys-
of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that could you ever think you hear any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq because of Iraq. I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the
And I
woods
lost
carrying
my
swastikas,
eyeliner.
torches, and singing the
Probably in
same
my
anti-Semitic
face.
file they sang when back in Germany.
There we go.
And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said, "What do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones," he said, "I think they're fine people on both sides." What American president
What did he
would ever
say?
say Nazis coming out of
No,
fields
just
carrying
listen.
torches, singing
Listen.
the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas, were fine people? And this is the guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
All Biden is doing low blowing.
President
That's
Trump.
what I see.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on that. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency is without question, the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every reasonable anchor has debunked it. And just the other day, it came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden?
And debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran.
I just think that Biden is going a lot low blow.
If he thought
He's not
there were
really
good people
defending
coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well.
Because they don't agree with the fact that they busted in that office.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
So where we at? That supposed to been that was an hour already? Good Lord. No, that wasn't an hour. Oh, that was one. Oh, it's a commercial. Okay.
Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress.
They acknowledge
Wait, let's rewind that back. Wait.
The fact of the matter is there's more small black.
All right, let's rewind that back.
Welcome back to the CNN presidential debate live from Georgia. Let's talk about persistent challenges you both faced in your first terms and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while Black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, Black families still earned far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and Black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small Black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of Black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're providing housing for Black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporate
The segregation.
these corporate operations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that
Wait, let's
the
stop. Wait, let's
impact
pause.
on
Let's pause.
the
I can say,
choice.
is they finding more housing for the Black community? I don't know. I just know that they're building a lot of affordable apartments. We have people that are squatting in these apartments. The landlords can't get them out to move tenants in. So that's not helping either side by letting squatters take ownership of someone's apartment without paying rent at all, right? So there is a lot of apartments being built in a Black community. I had showed some on some of my videos, so I will commend that. But guess what? The rent is still being raised in the Black community. The ones that are struggling, trying to continue living in their homes, building houses for the Black community over the border. Over the border, I think to me it's for the people over the border. I really don't think it's for us. I think because they started opening up Section 8 again when the migrants or the border people came over. And that's when they opened up Section 8 again. And it was like, wait a minute, so you just opened it up. Eric Adams did that. Eric Adams opened up the Section 8 program again for them. But then at the end of it all, he was saying, well, that's for everybody. Anybody that needs it, get on. Okay, I think it's coming out a little good. I think it's coming out better than what I thought it was going to come out. And all right, back to the debate.
That Black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation.
Wait, pause. Wait, we're going to go back on that. De Blasio started a program for daycare, right? De Blasio said, I couldn't relate of being a parent and trying to get my child into daycare and not able to afford daycare. So de Blasio opened up that children can start public school early, right? And that childcare was free. When Trump got into the seat, he continued the free childcare during the COVID. So we was able to still put our child, we didn't have to work, we didn't have to do nothing. We was able to put and pay. We was able to put our children into daycare for free, right? But they was gonna pay them. So when Biden got in, Biden shut all that down. Biden stopped it. Biden stopped all the help. He stopped it. So he's talking about daycare and free childcare. He's tripping. Biden didn't do that. I'm not saying Trump decided that. I'm saying the people that was behind Trump within the seats was allowed to continue it when he got into the seat. When Biden got into the seat, the people that was behind Biden, they agreed to stop the free child care for people that could not afford it. Don't worry, don't mind the Nightbot. I gotta fix him. He kind of broken.
In the past, I was able to reduce Black child care costs. I cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in
Trump is laughing in his head like,
so
really?
There's more to be done,
Really?
considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any Black family first-time home buyer should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started.
That's
Make
new.
sure that we're
That's
in a
new.
situation where all those Black families and those Black individuals
I ain't hear that.
had to take out student loans that were ballooning.
I don't know why this
that
side
if
is
they were
harder to
engaged
do
in
than this
nursing,
side.
doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for Black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation. Bad.
Trump said
He caused the
Cleveland was
inflation,
bad.
and it's Black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the Black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking Black jobs now. And it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking Black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs. And you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you, President Biden.
Listen.
There was no inflation
Wait,
when I became president. You know why? The economy was.
What you said, Don? You said gas with Trump was $2 a gallon with Biden. Listen, so you see, Biden is talking about computer shit. What database says. Database can lie if you punch in certain numbers. Trump is speaking facts. He's speaking what we seen on the news, what we as parents experience, and what our economy is doing to us with physical touch, right? Biden is talking about some database bullshit, got nothing to do with it. He's just making stuff up, and every time he can't answer the question, he hitting Trump with a low blow. Oh, the hooker. Oh, this. I'm like, answer the question, bro. Like, what's going on? You just regurgitating what the lady just said, and you're not answering the question. 2024 Trump. How's it turning out so far? Is it turning out good, guys? I hope y'all like it.
Flat on its back, 15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands and millions of jobs for individuals who were in all communities, including minority communities.
Wait, he's lying
He
about
made sure
that.
They have health insurance.
He's lying about that. There was no jobs. First of all, when Trump was working, I was able to work at my job full time for 2 years straight and got a raise, and got extra money, and got days to take off because of COVID. I was able to get, if I got sick anytime with COVID, I was able to take off and still get paid. Until the results said I'm clear of COVID, I was still getting money. So he talking about jobs. No, sorry. People was getting more jobs when he was in the seat. I'm sorry. He was he the one started saying fighting for the waitresses getting higher wages and raising up the tip raise and putting them huts outside. So I don't know what Biden's talking about. Biden in another world.
We have covered, if the ACA has increased, I made sure that they're $8,000 per person of the family.
I'm like, what? I
get written off for the health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They've tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again. And they're going to try again if they win. We find ourselves in a position where The
All right,
idea
I'm looking
that
for.
we're not doing it, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on, but in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities
First of
across
all, wait.
the country are confronting the
Pandemic.
devastating effects of extreme heat.
He people was able to quit their job and still get money. People was still able to go on unemployment, and he extended the unemployment so that people didn't have to jump back to work. People was able to work at home and not work at their job and stay home and raise their kids at home and work at home. So I don't get what Biden's saying right there.
Heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Well, let me just go back to what he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name. And he called it to them, and they've taken great offense at it. And now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job. Great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers.
He is the first president. He is the first president that he has a lot of black voters. Period. He's the first president besides Trump. I love how he spoke about everything he's gonna do, bro. You had 3.5 years. What were nothing? Hey, Sean, darling, how are you? How are you, Sean? How are you? Liar, liar, Biden, going to hellfire. How are you, Sean? Thank you for coming in. Don't forget that thumbs up, guys. And I'm doing makeup, and I have not sipped my wine yet. This is the last of my wine. So now I got the eyebrows on. I hope y'all can see it. I think I did a good job. It's coming out. It looked good to me. I don't know how I look on camera here. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, it's coming out good. Hey, I like it. The eyebrows is even. The undertones is there. Oh, I like it. I think it's a little dark, maybe because of my tan, or maybe because of the camera. But guess what? I like it. I'm gonna continue on. All right, let's go back to the debate.
Much of the black population,
I know it called,
because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for
thank you, Sean.
Hispanics.
Look,
but when
Sean,
you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen any
action as president.
Let me say this. I believe that the people that came over is going to take our jobs. Definitely my job. They can. Like, I'm a gardener. I do gardening work. They master gardening, yo. I just found out how they mechanism in gardening. It could be like 20 of them in a household. They build this company. I don't know how they get the machinery. I don't know how they do it. They get the machinery. It'd be like 15 of them doing one job. What they'll do is they'll rotate. So let's say today, I work today with Manuel and TJ, right? So then I make $100 or $200 that day. Tomorrow they will routine and switch off to 3 more other people to do the same thing, and they make 200. And Manuel, me, and TJ went to another site to do something else, like WeWhack, and they made 200. They alternate their jobs. It'd be one company alternating 15, 20 people. Smart, or one household. It could be like, I live in my household. It could be like 15 people. They alternating people to work for this business that they built. God knows how they built it, but they built it. Listen, and they can take the job now. If we don't tell our children to get up to work, or we don't tell people don't start working, they're going to, as money, the rate to get paid now, they're going to hire them, and they don't have to boost up the income no more, because these people know how to take a quarter and make $1 million from it. So they looking at it like they're not going to ask for medical. They're not going to ask for a raise. They're going to be grateful for what they're giving, the economy is giving them, and I could pay them nothing for something. And with us, we want more money. You're paying us less money, and we're doing a lot. We're doing something for nothing. So they're going to take these people in. Look, it's a whole scam, guys. Y'all got to be quick with that.
Slow the climate crisis.
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air. And we had it.
I'm going to get it.
We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage.
Wait, let me turn the screen down. Let me put it down.
Actually,
I hope y'all guys is having fun.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that he says is true. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history.
It's a lot.
I find ourselves, and by the way, black colleges. I came up with $50 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have those. They don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money. But now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing with the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it, because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, there's no way back. The only existential threat to humanity is climate change. And he didn't do a damn thing about it. He wants to undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States.
I'm going to tell you one thing about Trump. Trump is a businessman, and he's a money maker. He make money moves and smart money moves. He not going to make a dumb money move. Trust me. Trump knows how to handle money. And he know how to flip that money and make it more than what it is. So any money deal, I would trust Trump, because he know how to make that money deal. Get what I'm saying? So I don't know what Biden talking about. Look how he gonna tell you how he was gonna save us money, and how Biden was gonna make us lose money. Hey, Lammy, how are you?
Because I didn't want to waste that money, because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones who was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before, insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs, because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people, but we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not.
But I'm going to tell you one thing. I bet y'all didn't know that. All right, this is for elders that's on food stamps, right? They cannot get food stamps unless they are working. And when you're working, you're only getting a little bit of food stamps. You're not getting a lot. For them to at least get $50 worth of food stamps, they have to be working. They cannot not be working and getting food stamps. They would deny them. So now you have our elders going back and forth into the welfare system, begging for $50, and they also dragging their old ass to work. I'm tried. I'm tried. Hey, Sean, I'm tired. You tired, Lammy? Oh, I'm sorry. We. Huh. Good night, Don. Thank you for the support. Popcorn was a bad mama jamma. Thank you, Don, for coming. And 203, I got offered 11 months in food stamps. $11 a month in food stamps. Wow. You can't even buy a sandwich.
Not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything? We've not able to, the United States can't take it under control. One of the largest polluters in the world. Number one, we're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We have made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate corps for thousands of young people who will learn how to deal with climate, just like Peace Corps. And we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution. But the idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about pollution.
This guy way better than that.
I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
So every day, millions of Americans struggle just to make ends meet. For many older Americans, so lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years.
Yeah.
Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're going to, I'm proposing that
I did
everybody,
this
they
side
pay,
better than I did this
the
side.
millionaires pay
But I think it
1%.
looks good.
1%.
Still.
So no one after, I did not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent. But the biggest thing I'll do if we defeat this man, because he wants to get rid of Social Security.
He said,
He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social Security and Medicare both times. And that's what, and if you look at the program
Biden,
put forward
you
by
are a
the House
liar.
Republican caucus that he, I believe, supports, is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And on the ACA, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people.
The only thing I will say is when Trump got into the seat and he knew Obama had made Obamacare, he did try to destroy that. But I know why he tried to destroy that, because one, Obama made Obamacare, but there was already Medicaid out. When I was pregnant with my son, I had no insurance. My medical stopped and I never knew it. And I had to do prenatal care. And I went to the appointment and it was like, do you know your Medicaid stopped? And I was like, no. They was like, well, what you can do is you can go downstairs and go apply for some medical. And I was like, do I gotta pay? And they was like, no, they will pay for your visit for today. Just sign up real quick, and then when you finish, go renew your medical. And that was before Obamacare came out. So, and I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't know that there's free Medicare. They said yes. Go downstairs in the bottom of the hospital, talk to them, and they will help you fill out a form to get free insurance. So he made Obamacare. I don't know why he did Obamacare. Obamacare was again, I believe, for the migrants or the immigrants. It was mainly for them because that's when they brought out the ID for them so that they because they kept arresting a lot of the migrants, and they was like, you know what, we're gonna create an ID for them so that they can stop getting arrested. We don't know who they are. And that's when they created the instead of a state ID, it was like a quick New York ID to just put on them because I believe they also wanted to work or something like that.
40 million people would not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing allows.
Let me see what you said. What you said. You said I can't believe so it had to say we need not rifles to take on the government is gonna fly that dinosaur aircraft because our pilot won't not against us. Obama husband is wired, is wired to destroy the country. Listen, right?
Them to have that insurance is the fact that they in fact are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is we're in a situation where we talk about education for Black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants, another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He could look you in the face. About
He
so many
totally
other
lies.
things too.
Because
We mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. It's a lie.
You got
It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street,
and
these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing. And
I am back. I am so sorry. This is one of my art designs that I created for a hoodie. I actually like that. That sucker looks lit. I love that design. In the beginning, it was looking crazy, but I actually like that design. It looks cool. So remember, look, guys, if you would like to order t-shirts for my business, you can contact me at leeanthony5yahoo.com and cash at me at Eyes Let Her Talk. Guys, this is one of my designs that I made. Hit me up anytime. And I made a big mistake. I wound up doing it again. This sucker out. Let's get back to that. You forgive me, thank
Because
you.
millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
Yeah.
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world, the reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureats he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureats, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession.
No, it's okay.
And inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what would you do to make child care more affordable?
Yeah, that is so right.
And just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired people. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not easy to fire people. You'd pay a price for it, but they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put him there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from
Stop playing loudly back there. About to do this, about to see how I look. So how y'all think it look, guys? And it's no eyelashes, just eyeliner. I can't do the eyelashes. I'm gonna add a little more to the situation. But I like it. It kind of did it over, try it again. From the side. I did this side way better than I did this side. Close. See, this side is kind of looking like crazy, but there we go. Fire, right? Yeah, thank you, Sean. I did it. I normally do it in the mirror, but I ain't finished yet. I'm gonna keep adding on. I'm gonna be like them girls that be adding on. You be like, you don't need no more.
Mental institutions. Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now, all of a sudden, he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen.
But they can't vote because
wins
they're
this
not
election.
citizens.
Our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We are the most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We're the finest military in the history of the world. The finest in the history of the world.
Who is them laughing at us?
No one wants to
Who
screw
did
around
them
with us.
think we
Nobody.
a joke?
Number one. Number two, the
even if
idea
Chinese guys
that we're talking about worst presidents. I wasn't joking. Look it up or go online. 159 or
They said,
58,
look it
don't
up.
know
Hold
the
on.
exact number. Presidential historians, they've had meetings and they voted who's the worst president in American history. One through best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is doing anything to deal with child care, he did virtually nothing to child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best, okay? And if I'm given another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about, he's increased the tariff. He will increase the taxes on middle-class people. I said I'd never raise a tax on anybody making less than $400,000. I didn't. But this tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming in the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food.
Oh, I just didn't.
And all the things. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he has not raised. He's somehow helped the middle class. Middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years. Which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You have the largest deficit of any president in American history. Number one. Number two.
How are you going to speak for a bunch of people that sat there and said that ever since Trump got into the seat, we've been doing a little bit better than we was for any president that was in the seat to help us? Even our own Democrat president did not help us. How are you speaking for that? Do you got facts on that? Or are you just saying that because you think that's the good thing to say? Because that's not what I'm hearing.
Two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year. primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the
I
2.5,
don't know about
almost 3
that.
years
That's a
like
lie.
nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough. And it was the drugs it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible I've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot. And we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we use the machinery that can detect fentanyl, these big machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more be able to detect drugs, more numbers of agents, more numbers of all the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues, said, don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically. No, he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling to get the treatment they need.
Well, this does pertain to it. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage, we always pay $6 billion for every time we say a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said, by literally, as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago, but Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where he paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Let me get the other breath.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest
Come here,
person
come
ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the
here.
oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less
Clean the
competent.
brushes up.
I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look how I've turned
I
around the
washed
horrible
them out
situation
already.
he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America,
Out.
over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing. By the way, we brought off a lot of people. Well, the whole idea of computer chips. We used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and then bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States, and guess what? Those fabs they call to build these chips. Those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them, and there's billions. About $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs for Americans from all over the world.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before. We're the end of the world. Name
telling
me
the
a
damn
single
truth.
major
Listen, be right
country
back.
president
Hold on.
wouldn't
Okay,
trade places with the United
Sean.
States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies and those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong Un, he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you. Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know.
Yeah,
We made it public.
crazy.
He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson,
I hope
who's
y'all like the
a great
look.
guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar
The
one.
look.
And one of them
Hey,
said they've never seen
how
anybody
are
ace
you,
him.
boss?
Thank you.
How
President
are you?
Biden?
Wait, let me pull.
You can see he is 6.
Oh, what the heck did I on this crap? Wait, pause. All right, wait, over here. How are you doing, Big Chief? I just did some makeup and wine sipping. I just lost my. Oh, there you go. Debate, makeup, and wine sipping. I hope you like the makeup. I just did it. I don't got a mirror. I'm doing it off a whim. This is my look. I know y'all guys like women with no makeup. I know y'all like that. Some people, women love makeup, so it changes their look and enhances them sometimes, or just do too much. But I hope this is a good look. This is the makeup I kind of will wear when I'm going out. If I'm not going out and I'm just going around the corner, I will put on my eyebrows, the little liner, the eyebrows, some eyeliner, and that's it, and go straight outside like this. So tomorrow is work. I am waiting on that fight with Tyson, guys. Who's waiting on that fight with Tyson? I am. Kind of like it. Gotta fix my hair a little bit, but better than nothing. Or we could do it out. Doesn't matter. Gotta fix my hair in the mirror.
Foot 5 and only 223 pounds or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he says he is and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag.
Did he say, I'm happy to do golf if you carry your own
He's
bag?
a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I had, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump refers to
21
Let's not act like children.
You
to
are
a
a child.
specific concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable?
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. And I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something.
In the mirror,
I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now.
big.
I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War.
Big Chief, I did it one time online. Like, I even did a whole wig and everything, and I did it one time online. It came out nice, but you know, that was my first time. So I was like, I'm going to do it again. Today seems like a good time to just do it again and listen to the debate. Because I really wanted to hear this debate because I saw it on Rice Channel. So I was like, why not? Why not just do makeup and debate and drinking? And that's what I'm doing. It looks a little darker. I don't know if it's because of the light or because of my tan. Because my tan, I am much lighter. Oh my gosh. So far, Biden is talking about nothing. He's regurgitating, he's throwing insults left and right. And Trump is talking about facts. So that's why I can understand what he's talking about, facts, because dumb facts affected me. That's just really it. Then they started talking about some golf way off the topic. I don't know. But again, guys, this is one of my shirt designs. I gotta put this on my website. My shirt designs, guys. I love this. This is a hoodie with one of my art designs. I hope y'all like it. If y'all wanted a shirt made, hit me on at Lee25@yahoo.com. You can cash at me at Eyes Love the Talk, $ Eyes Love the Talk, guys. Support a sister, support her small little business. You just had drinking, wine, and makeup and debate. No, you just had debate, makeup, and wine. Let's finish this debate.
War III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is an attack on all, a required response. The idea,
It might not be perfect, of
I
course.
can't think of a
It's
single
hard.
major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done, what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful peace because of the people.
Yeah,
That means because
yeah,
of the American people.
yeah.
They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. And right now,
I like
we're
to
needed.
try better.
We're needed to protect the world because of our own safety is at stake.
Oh, I'm tripping.
And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv,
No,
make sure they move on, see what happens
no,
in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a
There's a
war.
trick to make it look like that.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia, because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election,
I'm thinking-
regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal,
I'm thinking Trump knows a little bit more than what we think, because remember, he was always having conversations with Putin. He was always meeting Putin over there. So I think he was also trying to make deals with Putin. And Putin did make a threat. If you make Biden the president, he was gonna start something. So y'all need to go back on like things that was being said as in the process of electing Biden. Then they do look at us like we stupid. They done said it so many times, which we're not. We're not stupid. We're we are the baddest, smartest country. I'm gonna represent United States of America. We are a good. I'm not gonna bash my country.
and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There's no evidence of that at all.
Anymore?
And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate, live from Georgia.
We got about 8 minutes left of this debate. So, guys, I need to hear this. What do y'all think about this debate? What do y'all feel about it so far, what y'all heard? So far, I am still agreeing with Trump. I am on his side so far. Biden has not won me over. He has not convinced me. He has not made me second guess what I'm thinking, or am I going for the right person? Biden has to do better. He has to get me to understand. And I already saw one time when Biden had told somebody was coming in and asking him about, certain things about the black community. And he was like, I'm not doing nothing for the black community, or we're not going over this again because they're not going to do it. It's other things to worry about. I seen and saw him do that. Well, that's the same thing. So I already knew what energy he was coming from. He wasn't paying us no mind. No mind, guys. No mind. But we're going to finish this debate. We got 8 more minutes. You would not believe your eyes. Okay, wait.
It is now time for the candidates to deliver their closing statements as predetermined by a coin toss. We're going to begin with you, President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
We've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that will be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit.
Yeah, right?
Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along. It's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that.
Hey, Liberty, how are you?
Child care.
You missed it. I did makeup online.
For child care.
And this is
make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are
I did this all set up online
across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
I'm doing good.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. Okay. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah. For terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened.
But I bet
he talks about all the stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you.
I never seen the debate. I wanted to see the debate. I seen it on somebody else's channel, but I was like, I wanted to see the debate word from word so I can make my opinion on it to see what they was talking about. But I'm still going along with Trump. I'm sorry, I'm a Trump voter.
Because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout
Right,
the world.
on Rights Channel, right.
What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like, even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up. And
what I was gonna say, if y'all understand how I did my makeup is not that much stuff that I use. I'm not even gonna tell my secret. I used about four things to do all this. And it was real simple. Nothing fancy. Save your money with all them thousands of dollars. Trust me, if you listen to me, you won't even need half of that. It was something else I wanted to say to them.
And take care of themselves and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of the
What up, food stamps? I did it again, yo. I did it. I keep knocking myself out. Congratulations on your baby girl graduating. What grade she going to? What was she going to? High school, or she out of high school? She going to junior high? Tell me. Thank you. Oh, matter of fact, let me do that. Yeah, let me do it. So this is my makeup. I can't say tutorial because I didn't teach y'all what to do. I just did it on my own. I want to rubbing it off, putting it back on, rubbing it off, like doing different things. So I wanted to do some makeup. I said, why not feel pretty online? I feel pretty without it. Do y'all think that my makeup makes me look like a whole new different person? Like you know how some women they look totally different and then they put makeup on and it makes them look like a whole new different person, or it just enhanced my look? Because if it enhanced my look, Hassan in the room, what's up, Hassan? Don't forget them thumbs up. Eyes of Art, how are you been? I've been good, Hassan. How are you? Salute to the chat. How are you, Hassan?
Makeup is to enhance your features, not hide them.
Right. So, hey, Lynn, how are you? Thank you for coming in. We're talking about the debate with Biden and Trump. We're at the end of the video. So, if y'all would like, catch that replay. Don't forget the thumbs up. But I also did a little bit of makeup. This is the makeup results. I came on this raw dogging it. No makeup, no moisturizer. I sat down, did my makeup in front of y'all, and this is the results. How do y'all like? Tell me if I look like a whole new different person or I look like the same person just with sharper features. That's it. Because then I can find myself doing this again. You doing good? Okay, you the 15 like. That's what I'm talking about. 15 in the room. I was gonna say, I want to give a shout out to Food Stamps because his baby girl graduated from high school. Congratulations! That's I don't know from high school, but she graduated. That's a big deal. My son has graduated from high school. He is no longer in school. I am so proud of him. He don't understand how that make me feel. My son is growing up. The next best thing, can't wait until he start picking his road and what he's gonna do. And it doesn't involve girls, or boys. So that's a good thing. Yep, congratulations to both. Oh, enhances. Okay, I like that. So that means I can do it without looking different. Okay, I like it. I like it. I agree. Enhances your look. Okay, I like it. Huh? I can see because even down to like the indents, it gives it a little. It look like it fills it in. It don't look that bad. Then when I don't have it, so this is something that I could see me doing every day. I could see me doing this every day and looking cute, digging up the dirt, being a gardener. They're gonna be like, that girl looks gorgeous picking up dirt. I'm like, thank you. Thank you very much. I do this every day. The only thing I do every day is the eyeliner and the eyebrows, and that's it. And the lips, no, I don't do the lips. Because I want them eating, drinking, and they'll come off my lips already. And sometimes I gotta be careful because when I'm doing the gardening, that dirt gets stuck on your face, and I accidentally be wiping it off. And it's summertime now, so I'm sweating. My makeup gonna look crazy, so I don't think this will be a good idea now. But this is the outcome of my makeup. I like it. I did a good job online. I normally do this over the mirror, in the mirror, or looking in the mirror. And
We're a failing
I'm
nation.
trying to say we got
It's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump.
Thumbs up.
President Biden.
So that was the end of the debate, guys. How do y'all feel about that debate? Do y'all agree with Trump? Do y'all agree with Biden? Do you think Trump was speaking rubbish? Do you think Biden was speaking rubbish? Did anybody get clarity of how Trump failed or helped the economy? And the same thing with Biden. Did you get any clarity how it failed and succeeded with him? If he didn't have it, he didn't have good success. I didn't see it with Biden. I think we was falling with Biden with jobs, insurance, money, Medicaid, affordable housing, affordable child care. I'm thinking really much that when Biden got in the seat, he kind of messed up things. I'm more on Trump's side. He helped more than Biden. He helped more. Right. I am so down with Trump, Lyrica. Like, I really believe that. I saw and I felt and I seen. Saw and seen is the same thing. Trump helped me out when it came out to childcare. My son going to college, getting either more food stamps or unemployment or getting more at my job, getting more, because when Trump was in the seat, I was able to claim I got COVID, still get paid, and I got a raise at the same time. So I got 2 weeks of sick pay. Anytime I got cold, anytime I I caught COVID. So I seen the difference that he did, or I'm gonna say he did. I seen the difference when he got into the seat. I seen the change. Now, when Biden got into the seat, all that stuff that Trump did, he took it apart and did his own thing. And from that moment on, the restaurants was falling, the economy was falling, rents going up, no more affordable childcare, no more affordable rent, no more extra food stamps or cash for whoever needed, no more none of that. So He let us dangle on it for a little bit. He did give us some checks, I will say that. But at the time that he should have waited until the economy was able to stand up on their feet. And the reason, and the thing was, when Biden gave us them stimulus checks, he took it out of our tax. So you got money from stimulus, you got taken right. Because the question would be like, did you get a stimulus? How much was the stimulus check? And once they seen that, they took it right out your taxes. So I seen a lot difference when he was in the seat. Did I believe he sat in the chair? He agreed. I just believe Trump know how to make money, and he know how to make deals, and he know how to make plans to work. All right, if you do this, I can make sure this happen. If you do that, I'm guaranteed that to happen. So he's a deal maker. He know how to make deals. He know how to make money. He know how to do everything that he needs to do to just get a plan on and popping. Making money is Trump's forte. I believe he was doing a whole lot of business there with Putin, back and forth with that guy from China or Japan. He was making money deals. And Russia and them, the Chinese man. So, guys, that is the end of my live. I thank y'all so much. I have 15 likes in the house. I cannot believe this. Y'all came through on me. Even though I bullshit with my channel, but y'all came through with me. Before I go anywhere, how are y'all guys doing? How was y'all weekend going? I had to work on my weekend. Let me go in and out. Let me see how many likes. 14 likes, guys. I'm loving this. This is support. Support. I love it. Thank you so much. 15 likes. And I got a new subscriber. One out. It's been good. Okay. A lot been going on my days. You know, I'm here as much as I can. No, Lyrica, I know that. You know what? I don't even get upset when people are not here anymore. They come through, they hit that like button, they support, they say hi. I love it. Period. That's all you can do. That's more than anything. Like, because sometimes people don't. Sometimes what I talk about might be boring, and it might not be your cup of tea. So, but you still show support. You say hi and you hit that like button, and you came through. So I don't knock it. Not every conversation I have is gonna be interesting. I might have some boring ass conversations, and I might have some juicy ones. And you come in and you don't. But long you show support, I love it. You came here is what mattered the most. So if y'all want to see how I looked from the beginning of the live to now, y'all gonna see a big difference. And I came in just in from work. Most of them are interesting. I enjoy them. Oh, thank you so much. I'm about to I got a new topic that I want to talk about. What was it? Oh, should I do OnlyFans? That'd be a great conversation. We say that right. I feel you. I have to watch the replay. Yes, you gotta watch the replay to see the outcome. That would be a good topic. Should I do OnlyFans, and what should my OnlyFans should be about? So, guys, I'm gonna end this live. I thank y'all. I delete mine. What you deleted? You deleted your channel? Why? What you deleted? No, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have. Because I would have been over there. I've just been so busy. I would have been over there. My feet. No, you shouldn't have. See, that's another topic, Lyrica. I'm going to say that for next time. We're going to talk about that. So the next topic is going to be, should I do OnlyFans, and what should I be doing on my OnlyFans? So this is the end of the live, guys. I thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for the support. Love y'all. Have a blessed one. And I thank y'all for hanging in it with me this morning, trying to create a shirt. I did it. The client loved the shirt. She loved it, loved it, loved it. She's going to wear it. She's gonna piss everybody off. That's what she said she's gonna do. So y'all guys have a blessed day. See y'all later. Love y'all. This was Debate, Makeup, and Wine. So y'all guys have a later. See y'all later. Love you.